So here's how you can set up Visual Studio Code and C++. So firstly, well, you should probably install Visual Studio Code. So go in Google and then download for Windows, stable build. It's gonna download. Okay. So that's fine and all. It's gonna help us write our C++ code, but we actually need to be able to compile that into machine code for the computer to actually read and use. So for that we need a compiler, and the way we're going to install this is we're going to go to MSIS2 and click here. I will link both of them in the description, but it should be the first Google search. If you're using Bing, you might need to go to like the 10th page or whatever. Okay, anyway, so go here and turn on dark mode, very important. Okay, where it says installation, scroll down here. The very first step, download the installer. Download this. So click that, it's gonna download. And once it finishes, run that. Okay, so it's gonna click setup. Welcome to the MSIS2 setup. Click next. And it's gonna ask you, it's gonna prompt you to specify where you want this to be installed. I think the root directory is fine. I would recommend you to put it here. It's going to make it easier, but feel free to install it wherever you'd like. But I'm just going to be installing it here. So click next, hit it next, don't worry about that. And it's going to install. It's going to take a while, so yeah, I'll see you when this installs or finishes installing. Okay, that's done. It took about 2 to 3 minutes, so don't be discouraged if it takes a while. So press finish, and it's gonna bring up this terminal box. Don't close it. We're gonna come back here, but this isn't gonna be something like it's not gonna be hard. All right, so just don't close it. Go back here to the MSIS2 page, and then scroll down here. It's just gonna say the installation, and go to step 6. It's gonna give you this command, and we're going to copy and paste that into the terminal. So the very first line, the Pacman GCC. There's this money sign. Don't copy that. That just basically tells you that that is a terminal command. So from P, drag here all the way to GCC. Okay, so the very first line, and copy that. Now go back down here to the M. This is the actual terminal. Run it. If for some reason you close it, so let's say you did close it, you can just go to your file explorer. Actually, I think you could actually UC, yeah, so you can look this up. So UCRT64, and we're back here. Okay, so now you've copied the command. Click paste and run that bad boy in. Okay, so it's going to ask you, do you want to proceed with the installation? I'm going to say yes. Just press Y and then press enter on your keyboard, and it's going to download some more stuff. Again, it's going to take a while, so we'll be back when this finishes downloading. Okay, installation is done. Again, it took a while, so that's fine. All right, don't close it again because we're going to need this terminal once again. So I have this other command which is going to install a bunch of stuff that we need. But if you want to find this command, you can go to the Visual Studio Code. So go here, go where it says docs, and then here on the sidebar, go where it says C++, and click where it says GCC on Windows. Scroll where it says prerequisites to step 5, and it's going to give you the same command that I have here. So from Pacman, don't include the parentheses, just what's in red. So starting from Pacman, going to the second line, all the way where it says tool chain. Again, right click, copy, then go back to the terminal. And then paste that, and again press enter. So it's going to say enter selection, just default equals all. So we want, I guess, everything. So install, it's going to install a bunch of trash, but or a bunch of tools, sorry. And then it says proceed. Again, you guessed it, press Y, and then what comes next, I'll give you 3 seconds, and press enter. Yeah. All right, and this one's gonna take a bit longer because, as you can see, it says total installed size is 1,000 megabytes, aka a gigabyte, and it's gonna install 58 things. So that is gonna take a bit. So again, we'll be back when this finishes installing. All right, so that's finished installing. This one did take a bit longer, so you can take a bathroom break or whatever. But once we're done, we're officially done with the terminal, so you can just close that. All right. Now you can actually first you want to go to your file explorer and go wherever you installed MSIS64. In this case, I installed it back in my root directory, but you want to find this MSIS64 folder. Double click here, find where it says MinGW64. Now I'm using a 64-bit operating system, so this is the option I want. And once inside, click where it says bin, and you're gonna see here it has a bunch of stuff, but more importantly, G++. This is our actual compiler, or the actual compiler we will be using. But there's a problem. We can only run the G++ command here inside of the bin. So we would need to create all of our projects in here. That's no fun. So in order for the terminal to actually recognize a G++ compiler globally, we need to configure it in what's called our path environment. So to do that, it's fairly straightforward. Go up here, make sure you're in the bin, and go up here, right click, and click copy address as text. So I was going to copy the file address, and we're going to need that because if you go here, type in path, and you should get this. It says edit the system environment variables. Click this. It's going to bring up a window. The only thing we need to do here is go where it says environment variables. So click that. And then here's the path. Okay. So click this, make sure it's blue. Then you go to edit. Alright, I already added it here, but let me just delete this just to show you guys. So what you want to do is click new, okay, and then just press Ctrl V. You should have copied that, and this should give you the address of wherever your MSIS64 installation was done. Okay, so click OK. So what we've basically done is, like I said, we made the G++ compiler available globally. So we can call that wherever we want. Okay, so click OK, and then click OK, and we're done. That's pretty much the dirtiest part of this. Yeah, I don't care. Right, now for the actual Visual Code installation, downloads again. Yeah, ignore that. All right, VSCODE setup. I accept. All right, yeah, it's fine. Just install it wherever. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. You see path there, fine, whatever. Yeah, fine. Install, just default. Again, just wait for that to install. Okay, that's done. And yeah, I do want to launch Visual Studio Code. Okay, so starting up, the very first thing I want to do is go here to the sidebar where it says extensions. It should be the one at the bottom, and here we're gonna want this. If it does not show up for you, actually that's installed, so type in C, and you should get the C/C++ extension. It's by Microsoft, so it's not, don't install some like sketchy thing. I don't think it doesn't matter, right? But just C++, install it. It's gonna give you syntax highlighting and a bunch of stuff, but it's useful to have. Okay, next, Explorer. So it's gonna say you have not opened a folder, so we wanna change that. Click open folder. I'm gonna go to documents, and I'm gonna create a new folder. Let me just create this, I don't know, hello world. Okay, and select that. Right, yeah, okay. So now we're in our workspace, and this I can add a new file, sorry, and call it main.cpp. Okay, and now I can finally start writing actual C++ code. So do hashtag or pound sign, hashtag, whatever, hashtag include IO stream. I'm just making a simple hello world application. So int main, let's see, printf hello world. Alright, classic, return 0. Okay. So we have this, but how do we actually run this? That's a good question. But what we should do is, first of all, go up here, click save, right? But it's annoying to save every time you make a change, so go back up here again and autosave. I already had that, but click this, it should have a check mark, like so. That means you're every time you make a change, the file is being saved. Right, awesome. Now you want to bring up your terminal, and you're gonna do that either you go to here, view, go where it says terminal, or what I like doing is clicking the actual command or the actual keybind, which is control backtick. So control backtick, that pops up your terminal. Okay, so there's really two ways to compile C++ code as far as I use. So the first one, not use, but I don't actually use the first one. But the first one, sort of the sort of involved, annoying kind of way, and that's calling G++, which is again our compiler, and then we have to specify what we want, what file we want to actually compile. So here it's going to be main.cpp, and yeah, that compiled. If you don't get anything, that means it's good. And check here, we have this a.exe file. To actually run it, go back here, type // and then a. So the name of your executable, and look at that, hello world. All right. So that's fine, but this a is, not very descriptive. It's not very. I don't know what a means. So what we can do is pass in an argument. So we can do G++ and then -o. So -o basically says this is going to be the output file. So if I call this main and then do main.cpp, what do you think is going to happen? Remember, -o is the output. So if we run this, we get a main.exe. Oh, that's cool. That's convenient. But what if I do G++ -o, then I do system32hack or whatever, and then main.cpp, you get system32hack.exe, and you can call either one. So system32hack.exe, hello world. Cool. But you probably see here it's a bit annoying to be typing this out over and over again every time, especially if we save this a bunch of times over and over again. So what we can do is create what's called a build task. So press Control Shift B, and here it's gonna bring this up, and it's gonna say select the build task to run. And if you actually look here, it says compiler bin/g++.exe. So configure the task, and it's gonna create this task.json file, and this is gonna be called every time we press a designated keybind or keyboard shortcut. It's gonna basically take all of this and run the following command. So it's gonna build it. It says build here, and it's gonna call the compiler, which is our g++.exe. Now I want to look here at this arg section, which is a list. It's an array of arguments. The first one just basically says just have color in terminal, so that's the first argument. This G flag, it enables a debugger. You just leave that there. There's no reason to modify this as is. We're gonna modify this in a bit, but yeah. And then this dash file, this basically says compile whatever file you're on. So when I go to the main.cpp and I run the actual build task, it's going to compile our main.cpp because we are in this current file. Okay, and look at this. We have this -o. If you recall, the -o was the output flag. And this next line basically tells us tells what output or how we want to name that. File directory name / file base name extension. It basically just says a name whatever the file is called, just without no extension. So in this case, main.cpp with no extension would be just main, and then just add this .exe at the end. So that's basically it. And to actually use this, or to actually call this, go to your main.cpp. Remember, you have to be in your C++ file. Then press again Control-Shift-B. It's gonna say starting build finish successfully. So it ran this. I ran our build. And now we can just press enter in the terminal, and then just call in your main. So you can see here it created main.exe. So we can go back here and invoke, so /main, and like that, hello world. And if we do hi and then press Control-Shift-B, remember we have the autosave. If you don't have autosave, please save your file, because you're gonna get an error, something about win main entry or whatever, but make sure your file is saved. So enable this. Anyway, so we have this -o whatever, and if we run this again, so /main. By the way, / just means the current directory, which is hello world, and then followed by the main. That's why we need the /main. And as you can see, hi world. So one important thing I do want to touch on is this arguments task. You can see this is an array, so we can basically pass in a bunch of arguments, sort of like I don't know, like delete system32 or whatever. I don't think that's an argument for G++, but a very important one is actually your C++ version. So we can go here to arguments and do std. Actually, you know what, let me actually show this because I believe, so if I go back here, if I include vector and I create an std vector. A vector, by the way, is just a dynamic list. So this is templated. Hello equals whatever. Right. If I try to compile this, actually, that's /main. Okay. Let's see. For auto e. Hello. Let's see. Print. Crap. Sorry. Let's see. Print f. Whoops. stcle and line, and then Shift B. Okay. /main. Okay. So you might get an error if you include a vector, depending on a C++ version that is being interpreted. So if you want to specify the version, go to your arguments here and pass in the following command. So -std and then equals C++, and then followed by whatever version. So let's say version 17. Actually, let me pass in version 3 and let's see what happens. So again, include a comma. This is just separated by commas. Okay, so I've specified the version to be C++ 03. So if I go back here and compile that, it's gonna get an error. So it's gonna say build finished with errors, and as you can see here, printf is not a member of std. Did you mean wprintf? And could not convert from the initializer list to int. That's because we're running C++ 03, and that I don't think that uses vectors. So we're gonna get a bunch of compiler errors. Actually, this is weird. Okay, so let me get rid of this and pass in C++ 17 or 20 or whatever, and then Control-Shift-B. Build finish successfully. All right, and then /main. And there you go. We have our C++ set up in Visual Studio Code.